Next up, we have Miss Karen Turan. Taryn, I'm sorry. I said
If it rhymes, it's wrong. It's Karen Turan.
Okay, I was trying not to rhyme it.
That's all
because I
right.
thought that was a
You
little-
know, I spent 4 years at Roosevelt finding K saying it wrong for 4 years. So.
Okay.
I want to thank Diane for responding to my email. I sent you an email, and I appreciate your response. I sent it to people that I saw had backgrounds in education. I, too, am a teacher. I've been teaching for 20 years, but more importantly, I have been the mother of a special needs son for the last 7 years. And when my son was initially diagnosed, we got a lot of doors slammed in our faces. This was a new avenue for us, something we had never encountered before. But when we went to Webster and when Mrs. Terbiak made the home visits, we felt welcomed. We finally felt like somebody was going to help us with this child get over the worst part of it. My son went to Webster 3 years ago. He no longer qualifies to go there because of Sharon's work. His IQ is too high, and we are working, or we did work with POHI program through Wayne Westland. Doesn't compare to Webster. I had to go back and visit Sharon several times to tell her that nobody can fill her shoes. Nobody could work with my son and make my son work as productively as Sharon could. I feel that she has been a major impact with him through the years. We've gone back to visit. When he had half days in Wayne Westland, we'd go over to Webster to visit, and the smile on his face warmed my heart and made me know we made the right decision in allowing him to be there and to grow there. The first time he took a step, you know, it is a family building, there's no doubt about it. We've made so many connections with kids on the other end of the building who saw my son take his first step before I did. She called me, I was leaving work, it was past her work day, and she called to say, has he been doing anything different? Because he walked today, all by himself, without a walker, without anything. And the Webster family really cheered. We see kids at the mall, we see him at church, and they remember him, and they remember the milestones he was able to make. As a parent and as an educator, I feel like I have to stand up for Sharon at this point and say, if it's her this year, well, my district, my job is based on evaluations. I'm fighting for my own job at this point, because if we're throwing daggers at Sharon Terbiak, who taught me so much as a parent, how to stand back, how to say things to my son to make him responsible for himself. He is of that mentality where she would teach me the slogan, so sad. If he didn't do what I wanted him to do, or if he had an accident, we just stand back and say, so sad. And she taught me that phrase, and it's worth its weight in gold, because even at 7 years old, we still use it. I teach my husband how to say it, and we don't get as frustrated. And to know that she could say something like that to students and just walk away, and they would understand what that meant, how disappointed she was. I guess I also have a lot of questions in regards to Nancy being let go because she didn't report what abuse was going on. Therefore, she was let go. I know so many other staff are in and out of that room, and if any of you on the board ever go to Webster, you can see that there are many adults that are in and out of that classroom, along with Mrs. Moore. The people in the room that's adjoined to it would have heard and said something, and they all kept their jobs, and we've got Nancy fired. Apparently, some things in the Observer that were reported I didn't understand, and I think of myself as an intelligent woman with a college degree and was told, no, that's not what really happened, or no, she's not technically fired. Well, the way the Observer reported it, I guess it was a lesson to me in my mid-40s. You can't always believe what you read, but it's not the Livonia National Enquirer, it's the Livonia Observer, and I don't know if the reporter got it wrong, or if the reporter was told different details, or if the investigator talked to the reporter and the school board didn't talk to the reporter. But there's so many stories out there, and the story that I believe is that Mrs. Terbiak is looking out for what's best for kids. And I have learned so much from her and have gained a lot of knowledge in working with special needs kids from her and truly believe that my son is in a place because of her. And she welcomed our family and welcomes us to come in. If I had a problem, I didn't understand how to deal with them, when I had my first conference with the Wayne Westland teacher, I cried all the way home, emailed her the next day and said, I just had the worst conference. I didn't know my son was so terrible. She said, he's not. Let's talk about what happened at the conference. These are the things you need to say to the teacher. Why did the teacher say that? So I already had a great start and was disappointed when he went to Wayne Westland because, to me, Sharon Terbiak is the expert on working with special needs kids. And I had that experience for 2 years and was saddened at the IEP when she said, he can't come back here next year. What do you mean he can't come back here? It's a good thing, she said. It's a good thing. And it is a good thing. And I understand she also was reported for visiting a place, and I have to apologize. I invited her to visit the place, to visit my son. It was reported by Mrs. Moore that she was out in the public and she wasn't supposed to be out. And I take the brunt of that responsibility because I invited her to visit my son and see him play baseball. And I made sure she didn't talk to anyone during the game and guarded her. And I guess it was reported to the board meeting on the next, or to the board or the superintendent, that she was out in the public, which to me, she is a living adult who should be allowed to be in the public. And my husband and I really took that one terribly. I hope that there will be some answers to some of these questions and that we do see her in a building this fall. She is entitled to a position somewhere after 17 years of service with Livonia Public Schools. And I will continue to come and speak and find out and learn whatever the truth may be and hope that you all are in search of the truth for her also. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Tran.